Hey everybody in the reggae universe, welcome to a conversation in dub hosted by me, Mark Ramondi.
And me, James Pasqua. This podcast is all about exploring the massive world of reggae and dub music, from its roots in Jamaica to its influence on various music genres worldwide.
This podcast also explores the intricacies of dub through insightful conversations, interviews with artists, and in-depth analysis of iconic tracks. We don't just talk about the music, but also the stories behind it, the techniques used in its production, and the social and political context that shaped its development.
Our goal is to promote mindful listening, taking you, the listener, on the journey the artist intended. Through this process, we hope to introduce you to new music or give you a new insight on music you already know and love.
This podcast is brought to you by Rootfire, a platform for reggae music worldwide with a mission to empower artists and nurture the community that supports them. You're here because you love reggae music and want to be a part of that community. We're here to help connect the dots.
If you have any feedback for us, be sure to email us at aconversationindub@gmail.com or message us on Facebook or Instagram at aconversationindub. We love hearing from you. Now,
let's get to the show. Hello there, bro. How you doing today, man?
I'm doing so fantastic. How you doing?
I'm recovering. I'm doing good.
You know what we did? We got to see each other for a whole weekend.
Yes, we
did. The longest we've seen each other in a long time.
It was absolutely fantastic, I gotta say, and it was to celebrate. It was up for my bachelor party. So I don't know if you guys know out there, but James is my best man for the wedding, and he threw an absolutely epic bachelor party. So epic, so that I'm how many days removed are me, and I still can't. Best man in dub, and yeah, we're like it's 3 days since we got home, and I'm struggling, guys, but we're working on it.
Oh boy.
But no, it was a wonderful time. It was great to see everybody, but very excited to get back into this today and just getting into some dub and doing some music listening because, judging by the way this weekend went, that's about all I can really do today anyway. So I'm in it.
Yeah, we'll get right into it. You saw the title of the episode. Unfortunately, this past week we lost an absolute Jamaican legend, somebody who's iconic and revolutionized roots reggae and has come out with some of the most classic Jamaican reggae tunes that still are playing all the time.
Absolutely.
For reggae fans. We are talking about Max Romeo. He passed away at 80 years old this past Friday, April 11th. And that is just terrible news, Max Romeo.
It is absolute legend. That's why I'm really happy we get a chance to feature this track, because I'll tell you, this track and every iteration of it has always been on all my playlists and stuff. It's an absolute classic. So definitely ready to pay some homage to Max and a big shout out to his family. And we're so sorry for all that out there. But I mean, honestly, what an amazing mark to have left on the world.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Yeah, we are going to be featuring probably his most classic tune, Chase the Devil. I'm sure you all know this song if you are a fan of reggae, even a little bit.
Yep.
You've heard this song. You've heard this song sampled by numerous artists over the time. Chase the Devil. Now, if you're going to go listen to this track with us, because we're about to do that, this is Chase the Devil on War in a Babylon, 1976. You can find that song streaming everywhere, and you can find it on YouTube. Put on the album, put on the CD if you have it. Just know there's also Croaking Lizard, which is the same rhythm that came out on Super Ape, but that features Prince Jazzbo. And there's also Disco Devil, which is the dub version done by Lee Scratch Perry. So if you want to go listen to all three, I recommend it.
Big time.
Go do it.
Big time.
I mean, the song's killer, and the song's killer on all the iterations. But we're mostly going to be talking about Chase the Devil. We may listen to some of the other ones too. We'll let you know when we return. So, you want to get into it?
Let's do it, bro.
Here's Chase the Devil War in a Babylon, 1976, Max Romeo. That was Chase the Devil, Max Romeo, 1976. So clearly recorded by Lee Scratch Perry at Black Ark. It's one of the most iconic Black Ark albums ever made.
Yeah.
If you want to know what we mean by, what do you mean by Black Ark sound? That's what it sounds like.
Yes.
There's nothing else.
No, it is the epitome of classic. Like I love this tune, and like this is a really awesome one to just kind of get lost in. You know what I mean? And like there's not a whole lot going on in terms of it musically, but like sonically, the way that it all comes together, I love. Like, would you notice like with the original track, how the lead guitar follows and just kind of dances with the bass the whole time?
Kind of.
That's why I said dances with. It does
it's
not
like circles around it.
It circles around, and it's very interesting because it's like every time the bass pulls down on like a root note of the chord that would be perceived as minor, there's moments where the guitar lead actually goes and does the major chord over it, and it's like, wait a minute, whoa, wait, and it's like to listen to that back and forth dance between the lead guitar and the bass is like so cool. But they're only like. The only times that they absolutely line up is when they really want to emphasize the steadiness of the bass line. And when it does, it creates this really cool hollow sound. Like I can't even like describe it. Like it's very, very interesting when they're directly layered on top of each other, how cool it sounds.
Well, it sounds like there's also some kind of keyboard sound doing the boom, boom, boom.
Yes, definitely.
With the bass too. And that's also contributing to that. It's funny you say that because Stepadelic did this song live. Mm-hmm. At least once, maybe twice. And when we rehearsed it, I was doing that like dancing around on the guitar.
Yeah.
And our bassy was like, "What are you doing? I'm trying to follow you." And I'm like, "No, don't try to follow me. I'm trying to emphasize what you're doing, but different." And he was like, "Oh." I was like, "Yeah, let's listen to the track again." "Oh, okay. Yeah."
Yep.
Because it is weird, and we were doing it, and we were both like, it sounds okay."
Yeah, no, it's very interesting because like if you're not like isolating and focused on it, like it's something that you'll just kind of like overlook. But it's really cool, like especially through this listen through, that was the one thing that really kind of like popped out at me. Very rarely though do you have like the lead guitar dancing like that the whole track.
Whole track.
Like there's not a single moment where it stops. Like that's why in the other versions we dabbled a little bit in some of the other renditions of this track. And when you listen to it, when they take that lead guitar away and it's just bass, it's like it really opens up the whole track, like big time. You know what I mean?
It makes it super steady then.
Super steady.
I can't confirm who's playing on this. I wasn't able to really identify, but it is Upsetters, obviously.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
We all know it's Upsetters. I'm going to guess it's Family Man on bass. And it's Carly Barrett on drums. The Barrett Brothers. That's my guess. I could be wrong. It could be Santa Davis on drums, but it does sound like Carly Barrett. That's 1976.
Yeah, that'd be about right.
And knowing that, you know, they always lock in. So when it does strip down to just the drum and bass, you're like, ooh, yeah.
Exactly. I love that. I absolutely love that. But no, it's just... it's so classic. And you know it's cool because this is one of those tracks that like you sent this to me today and we were like, hey, let's do this one, and I was just like, oh man, like of course, you know, I'm shocked that this is not something we haven't featured already because of how just like it's just been a staple. And like I said, all my playlists, whenever I'm chilling in the car or something, this always comes on and I absolutely love it every time.
Whether it's Chase the Devil, Croaking Lizard, Disco Devil, the subatomic version of Chase the Devil.
Love that one too.
They're all good. There's so many versions of this.
There are, and it's just so iconic, and I think it's just a great kind of way to just pay homage a little bit to Max Romeo and all the amazing contributions he's given to the reggae world.
Yeah, I mean, what a unique voice too, right? I mean, he doesn't sound like anybody else.
No.
He's not really trying to sound like anybody else.
Yeah, that's what makes it, but like those unique qualities, it just kind of all comes together to just be his own sound. Like, I mean, it's interesting because you figure if you show this to somebody who doesn't really know reggae music that much, they'd be like, oh, this is a cool reggae track. But like when
Right.
like a reggae fan is listening to it, like you could talk forever about like the subtle differences that makes this Max Romeo. I think that's what's
And
really, really cool is like it's so grounded with traditional roots reggae. It's amazing. However, it's Max. And I think that's one of the reasons why this is one of those tracks that has withheld the test of time. This is why all these artists everybody throws this in. Like you said, Stepadelic's performing this. I wonder how many reggae bands have collectively at some point performed this song live.
oh, so many.
So it's unbelievable, man. But it's really, really cool. And to be able to feature this, yeah, if this is your first time out there listening to Max Romeo, like definitely go down that rabbit hole.
Yeah, there's a lot to listen to.
A lot.
This is just like, it's like the classic album.
Yep.
Is War in a Babylon. And the whole album is like this. And going back to like his vocal style, I feel like Lee Scratch Perry has so much to do with that too, because he just like enabled these singers to just be themselves, but like elevated.
Yep.
Like stop trying to fit some kind of mold, stop trying to like do what everybody else is doing.
Yep.
Just like do what feels right. And it always comes out in his productions.
Yes. And this
like
definitely
you hear
has
it in
that.
the Bob Marley stuff that he produced. Bob Marley like changed
Yep.
a lot when he did stuff with Lee Scratch Perry. And it was like, oh, okay, I can go this way. Great, let's do that.
Yeah, I think that's also going to speak to the greatness of the late great Lee Scratch Perry. He just brought out a different side of musicians. I feel like every musician who's ever had a chance to work with him, and Emch can confirm this. He mentioned that how like he loved working with Lee because it just changed things about how he saw music and how he saw this whole genre. He brings that out in you, and there's a laid back quality to it. I think he brings out a different level of authenticity. Like it's authenticity, but it's also it's a natural laid back feel. And I mean, okay, yeah, you have to be a ridiculously skilled vocalist to be that laid back and relaxed and still
Don't make it sound good.
and sound good. You know what I mean? But like, I don't know. There's something about it that just, you hear Lee in it. You hear Lee in all these things,
Definitely.
It's crazy. It's crazy how that works. And it's crazy how that influence ripples and just the subtleties of that influence. But what a difference it makes for the tracks. Like, you're absolutely right. Those Bob tracks do sound different. You know what I mean? And it's just his way of how he can he helps musicians, I feel like, reinvent themselves.
Also, the Black Ark recordings, like every time I listen to them, I'm hearing something else. They're just so involved. You don't like get it on the first listen.
No.
Like you said, it's just like, oh, that's a cool track. But then when you're like, let me just listen to the hi-hat.
Yes.
Let me just listen to the percussion tracks. Let me just listen to all the phasey, whirly echoes that are constantly happening on everything, and have it still come together as a solid track.
Yeah. It's there's the subtleties in these are so easily overlooked. Like, if you're not really sitting down and listening. But again, that's the whole reason why we do this, guys. It's all about that. Like, how intentional is your music listening? Like, when you really go to isolate. And what's interesting too is, like, I talked to some of my own students about this, how, like, for some people it is difficult to isolate each individual thing that's happening in a track. And that is very, I mean, this goes back to how we hear music and how we listen to music. But if you guys haven't done that, like, try to isolate, like, we're talking about the hi-hats of the drum, but like, just listen to what's happening with the drum. Just try to listen to what's happening with the bass. Like, try to see if you isolate on one particular sound and instrument, how much more you notice about a track rather than just listening to it all as a whole. And it may take a couple listen throughs before it kind of makes sense. But it's definitely an interesting way of listening to it, because you and me, man, we've always kind of listened to music that way, where we can hone in on a part from this and hone in on a part from that. And it's crazy to see and learn that, like, that's not really how it kind of is for everybody.
It like shocks me sometimes, because I'll listen to songs with my wife and I'll be like, oh, did you hear like what the hi-hat did there?
Mm-hmm.
She's like, I have no idea. I don't know how to just listen to that.
Yep.
And then I'm like, but it's there. Can't you hear it? But I don't understand how you can't. But she doesn't understand how you can. It's a weird thing.
It is a very weird thing. I mean, like, that's the beauty of, like, I mean, to grow up as instrumentalists and we were in bands and stuff, like, we have a pretty good knowledge of the individual sounds of each instrument. I feel like that's something that a lot of people don't. Like, we say a hi-hat and a lot of people are like, that's part of the bass guitar, correct? It's like, no, it's not. It's like, it's really, that's the one thing that kind of changes things for us, I bet. But, like, I think that anybody can train themselves in it. You know what I mean? You don't have to know the intricacies of each instrument, but it does take a different level of intention when you listen to be able to pull out those nuances. And these are great tracks to do this with, because you'll hear it the first time as a whole, and you'll be like, that, like James said, that's a great track. But then when you isolate on one thing, you'd be like, why I didn't hear that at all? I didn't even recognize that was happening. So this is a really good album to, like, get that practicing, guys. Just isolate, listen, and see what's happening inside the piece.
Couldn't agree with you more.
But it's just fun. I absolutely love going back and listening to these tracks. And like we said, you know, a big shout out to Max Romeo's family and all of them. So sorry for we're sorry for the world for such a loss. But what an incredible legend! What a fantastic contribution he's made to the world with his music, and something that we should all just be celebrating at this point. Go down that rabbit hole and listen to as much of his stuff as you can, because it's great. It's all great stuff. You love this. You're gonna love that.
He left quite the legacy behind. He left a lot of music that will live on for, I don't know,
long after we're gone.
Forever.
I'll tell you that.
Forever. I never got to see him. I hope some listeners out there did get to see him and got to be in that presence. But it's also a hard reminder that if you do see some of these legends playing near you, go see them.
That's right.
Go see them now.
It's true. Don't sleep on that stuff, guys. It's amazing opportunities. But definitely a fantastic track. And can't wait to get into some more Max Romeo throughout the rest of the week. You know, I think it's a great week to throw that on shuffle, guys, and just kind of dive in and see what you can hear, because there's sure a lot to listen to.
Definitely. Max Romeo will live on through the music.
Absolutely, guys. And remember, as always out there, remember to keep dubbing.
Thanks for listening to A Conversation in Dub, hosted by James Pasqua and Mark Raimondi. Conversation in Dub is brought to you by Rootfire, a platform for reggae music worldwide with a mission to empower artists and nurture the community that supports them. You're here because you love reggae music and want to be a part of that community? We're here to help you connect the dots.
This show is produced and edited by James Pasqua. Our theme music is an original composition called Keep Dubbing by James Pasqua and Mark Raimondi. If you want to hear previous episodes containing full songs, you can find them all on Spotify. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook at A Conversation in Dub. And if you have any feedback, requests, or just want to talk about music, reach out there or email us at aconversationindub@gmail.com. Make sure to rate us on your podcast platform of choice. And as always, keep dubbing.